Introduction. C++ is an object-oriented programming or OOP language developed by Barn Strostrup in early 1980 at Bell Laboratories. Object-oriented programming or OOP is an approach to organize and develop programs. In OOP, programs are made using classes where data and functions are tied together. The major objective to develop this concept is to eliminate some of the flaws encountered in the procedural approach. C++ is an extension of C. It runs on a variety of platforms such as Windows, Mac OS, and the various versions of Unix. C++ fully supports object-oriented programming, including the 4 pillars of object-oriented development: encapsulation, data hiding, inheritance, and polymorphism. C++ is used by thousands of programmers in essentially every application domain. C++ is being highly used to write device drivers and other software that rely on direct manipulation of hardware under real-time constraints. It is widely used for teaching and research because it is clean enough for successful teaching of basic concepts. Basic concepts of C++. C++ character set. Every language consists of set of valid characters that language can recognize. A character represents any letter, digit, or any other sign. The C++ has the following character set: letters, uppercase letters, and lowercase letters. Digits 0 to 9. Special characters: plus, minus, asterisk, slash, bracket open, bracket close, curly bracket open, curly bracket close, equal to, exclamation mark, blank space, tab, return, new line, form feed. C++ can process any of the 256 ASCII characters as data or as literals. Tokens. A token is the smallest element of a C++ program. C++ has the following tokens: keywords, identifiers, literals, punctuators, operators. Keywords. Keywords are the words that convey a special meaning to the language compiler. Compiler converts high-level language to low-level language, machine or binary language, and vice versa. These words are reserved for special purpose and must not be used as normal identifier names or variables in your program. Some commonly used keywords are shown below: size of, float, break, static, case, for, struct, char, goto, switch, const, if, continue, typedef, do, signed, while, double, switch, return, else, long, void, short, int, class, void, unsigned. Identifiers. An identifier is an arbitrarily long sequence of letters and digits which is used to name a unit. The rules for defining identifiers are as follows. The first character must be a letter. The underscore, shift, plus minus counts as a letter. Upper and lower case are different. All characters are different. Examples of valid identifiers: prg1 underscore prg2, a underscore b underscore c underscore abc underscore. Invalid identifiers: new dash prg. It contains special character other than letters and underscore. Signed. It is a reserved word. 1, 2, 3 ABC. The first character is a digit. Literals. Literals, often referred to as constants, are actual values or data items that never change value during a program run or execution. Literals are of following types: integer literal, character literal, floating literal, string literal. Integer literal. Integer literals are whole numbers without decimal point or fractional part. The rules for defining integer literals are: An integer literal must have at least one digit. It must not contain any decimal point. A number with no sign is assumed to be positive. Commas cannot appear in an integer literal. Examples of valid integer literals: 123, 890, -78, -20, 45,000. Invalid integer literals: 34.5, it contains decimal point. 67,789, it contains a comma. Character literal. Character literal is one character enclosed in single quotes, as in single quotes A, single quotes B, single quote, etc. The rules for defining character literals are: a character literal must contain one character. It cannot contain more than one character. It must be enclosed in single quotation marks. Examples of valid character literals: single quote A, single quote P, single quote 1, single quote plus, single quote 8, single quote. Invalid character literals: single quote, it does not contain any character. Double quote 6, double quote, it is enclosed in double quotation marks. The value of a single character literal is the numerical value of the character in the machine's character set. For example, the value of single quote A, single quote will be 97, which is ASCII value of single quote A, single quote, and the ASCII value of single quote capital A, single quote will be 65. C++ allows you to have certain non-graphic characters in character literals. Non-graphic characters are those characters that cannot be typed directly from keyboard. These non-graphic characters can be represented by using escape sequences represented by \, followed by one or more characters. Common escape sequences are given below. Escape sequence, non-graphic character: \A, bell or beep; \B, backspace; \F, form feed single; \N, new line; \R, return; backslash; single quotation mark, \double quotation mark, \T, tab. Floating literal, real. Floating literals are also called real constants. Real literals are numbers having fractional parts. These may be written in one of the two forms called fractional or normal form of the exponent or scientific form. A floating literal in fraction form consists of signed or unsigned digits, including decimal points between digits. The rules for defining floating literals are as follows. A real literal in fractional form must have at least one digit before a decimal point and at least one digit after decimal point. It may have either plus or minus sign preceding it. A real literal with no sign is assumed to be positive. Examples of valid floating literals: 4.0, 17.5, -10.0, -0.123, 345.6789. Invalid floating literals: 0.80, no digit before decimal point; 8 point, no digit after decimal point; 89,67.90, comma not allowed; 45.89.90, two decimal places. A floating literal in exponent form within expression consists of two parts, mantissa and exponent. For example, 7.6 can be written as 0.76 into 10 to the power 1 is equal to 0.76 E01, where mantissa is 0.76 and exponent part is 1 E 0.01 represents 10 to the power 1. The rules for defining exponent floating literals are as follows. A real literal in exponent form has two parts, a mantissa and an exponent. The mantissa must be either an integer or a proper real literal. The mantissa must be followed by a letter e or small e, and the exponent must be an integer. Examples of valid floating literals in exponent form: 1205E06, 7.6E07, 0.547E09, minus 0.564E-3. Invalid floating literals in exponent form: 585.E7, at least a digit must follow the decimal places. 8.2E3.4, exponent cannot have fractional part. 8.2e, no digit specified for exponent. 78,89.45E04, no comma allowed. Minus 0.76e-4, no preceding digits before decimal point. String literals. Multiple character literals are treated as string literals. The rule for writing string literal is given below. A string literal is a sequence of characters surrounded by double quotes. Each string literal is by default or automatically added with a special character, single quote, \0 single quote, which makes the end of a string. Single quote \0 single quote is a single character. Thus, the size of a string is the number of characters plus 1 for this terminator. For example, double quote, class 7 double quote. It is stored in the memory as follows in the form of an array. It is a list of a finite number n of similar data, elements or values. Size is 10. Punctuators. The following characters are used as punctuators, also known as separators, in C++. Square bracket open, square bracket close, bracket open, bracket close, curly bracket open, curly bracket close, comma, semicolon, colon,